Good afternoon. Nasaan na po yung mga readers? Konti na lang po yung naiwan sa ating mga readers. But anyway, we'll take this opportunity po na i-share po sa inyo yung ginagawa ng aming sector, the libraries, sa pagtulong po sa ating komunidad. And by the way, thank you NBDB for giving us the chance to share with these people, the readers, what libraries can do to improve the lives of the community. Without further ado, I'll call on the first speaker para po makapag-start tayo, Ms. Marisa Chico from QCPL. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to congratulate the National Book Development Board for spearheading this 10th Philippine International Literary Festival. I am here to share to you the impacts of libraries to the community and the services and programs of QCPL has to achieve. So, as my title, Libraries Matter, Impacts of Libraries to the Community, the QCPL Experience. We all know for a fact that libraries play a very healthy and vital role in our community. It provides us healthy environment for learning and research. Its primary purpose is to provide resources and services in a variety of media, to meet the needs of individuals and groups for education, information, and personal development, including recreation and leisure. Next, okay. Shown is the old Quezon City Public Library main building. It was first inaugurated on August 16, 1948, and initially operated in a one-story building at the back of Quezon City Hall. Currently, the QCPL has 19 branches, including the main library. The branches are scattered within the 6 districts of Quezon City. Let's walk through the impacts of libraries to the community in 5 categories: on learning, livelihood, health, equity, and community development. In terms of learning, libraries must ensure that all youth achieve literacy and numeracy. It is also our goal that they achieve higher academic achievements and, more importantly, to have positive attitude towards learning. These are some of the programs of QCPL that supports learning in numerous methods. We have our book mobile that goes around schools, film showing with various themes for young audience, high school and college students, senior citizens, and even detainees of police stations. Nagkakondak kami ng film showing. We also have this Little Free Library. It is the world's largest book sharing movement. The Pinoy Reading Buddies, where we encourage students to read in tandem. The puppet shows as fun tool for learning. We also have reading tutorials to help children improve their reading skills and comprehension. Storytelling, where we also encourage the kids to become a storyteller. And during summer breaks, we do summer art workshop where kids aged 6 to 12 learn different skills such as paper engineering, simple computer coding, and puppet making. In terms of livelihood, libraries can also uplift the quality of life of our community by expanding access for employment, provide them with training to set up micro-enterprise, and our ultimate goal is to reduce poverty by generating employment among poor households. So here are some of the programs of QCPL that address this matter. Nagkakanda kami ng bead making, throw pillow making, polvoron making, and welding tutorial, and so on and so forth. So, in terms of health, ito yung mga impact impact ng library to the community na nako-contribute namin dito sa mga different So, in terms of health issues are also one of the aspects that libraries can have an impact. We can promote good health and well-being as well as increasing the awareness in healthcare. We can also help the health sector of our government in reducing the gap in healthcare service. The QCPL as venue conducts free eye check-up with free eyeglasses, dental services for elementary students, and Smile Kid program where we teach kids proper hand washing and toothbrushing. Libraries are increasing efforts to advance equity and diversity. Libraries empower and promote inclusion of all. We reflect the diversity of the community not just by our collection and services but also with our workforce. In our case, in QCPL, we have personnel that are differently abled. Meron po kaming employee na deaf-mute, pero he is, he's an artist, by the way, kumbaga. Yun yung kanyang function sa amin. We also have senior citizen volunteers. Our libraries must also provide resources and services that meet the needs of diverse community. Yan. So, in QCPL, we are also having this produced braille format storybooks. We underwent training with the assistance of the National Library of the Philippines, wherein ito yung gusto namin na ma-include din talaga through this training, pati yung mga visually impaired natin na children and patrons, makagamit din ng ating public library. Senior citizens who are willing to learn how to use computers can just walk in and ask for a one-on-one tutorial. QCPL branches have gender and development and persons with disability corners that have numerous materials about the matters. And we also go to far-flung provinces just to reach our indigenous brothers and sisters and provide them with activities such as storytelling, puppet shows, and share them some reading materials. Furthermore, programs for PWD and senior citizens are also a priority of QCPL. Libraries can act as an important force in community development. We aim to enrich personal learning of our patrons, encourage the community involvement, and we build connections between individuals, groups, and government. To achieve this, the QCPL offered the following programs. Financial literacy to aid individuals became self-sufficient and achieved financial stability. Parenting seminars to help parents deepen their connection to their children and foster self-love, responsibility, resilience, and self-esteem. Most government services today, such as NBI clearance, passport, renewal, must be done online. So, however, some of our countrymen are having difficulty in the process. That is why QCPL offers free assistance in different online government services. QCPL partners with different schools and accepts senior high school students to do work immersion in the library. They are being exposed and given a real-world working experience. Yan. Okay. So, this is now the library at present. The main library is located now, has moved or reassigned for several times throughout the history of QCPL. Today, the QCPL main library is housed within a 3-story building within the Quezon City Hall that was inaugurated by our Honorable Mayor Herbert Bautista along with our City Librarian Ma'am Emmy Villanueva last February 6, 2017. The video that I will be showing to you is our winning entry for the search for outstanding public library with special programs or outreach service malasakit to the different sectors of the community organized by NLP.
And with information access anywhere. The challenge for the library is it remains relevant despite the changes. The librarian who embraces change keeps the library relevant for all time. Doors to endless possibilities are unlocked. The library can empower everyone to rediscover the value of the past. The library is where one succeeds over today's challenges.
Library, kasi habang naghihintay ka, wala ka naman sa ngitan, tapos pwede ka rin magbasa ng mga book. Parang hindi ka basta-basta mainit.
Maganda dito kasi bukod sa hindi mainit yung mga tao, mas madali yung process kasi may mga mag-a-assist.
Medyo may step. Katulad ngayon, mayroong internet. Hindi sa katulad nung sa panahonan, wala kasi inipauso eh. So ngayon, nagpa-adjust na lang po ako.
The library makes it possible for a community to shape the future. Quezon City Public Library's legacy is about going the extra mile.
Binabantahan niyo po ang mga anak po nila.
Opo, makakalipad po kayo pag kayo po ay nagbabasa sa inyong mga anak.
He is our reading superhero.
To transform, to innovate, to adapt to changes and help others to do the same.
with central libraries with community libraries. Community libraries that will cater to the community. Kung ano yung laman, kung ano yung kailangan ng community, yun ang laman ng library.
The hallmark of future libraries will be interconnectivity. To serve even better, QCPL lays foundation for interconnectivity. What does not change is QCPL's commitment to serve the community.
I started the job in library. Actually, mas maganda kung mapatagalin yung kasi katulad namin mga balista kami, hindi kami ng Mars sa November. So, wala kami promotion other than coffee shops, which hindi naman nakakatulong kasi magingay yun. So, very helpful sa amin yung extended hours. Actually, kung pwede nyo gawin 9, mas maganda.
People's perception of the public library in the Philippines is slowly changing because of the QCPL.
Bumisita sa QC Public Library ang ilang opisyal ng AFP Civil Military Operations upang pag-aralan kung paano ginagamit ang puppet sa pagbibigay ng aral sa mga bata na siya namang gagamitin para tulungan makabawi sa trauma ang mga batang nabiktima ng digmaan sa Malabo.
The QCPL is proof that libraries are even more important in the 21st century.
Sa library, mag-drawing, magbasa, mag-kulay. Alam po sila na po.
After po nung library organization, yung first time nga po na pumasok yung mga teachers dito for a meeting, nagulat sila kasi sobrang ayos. So, nagandahan sila dun sa itsura ng library, yung layout, ganyan. Tapos may mga teachers din na lumapit sa akin at naghahanap ng libro. Mas madali ko na rin po siyang mahanap. Kasi kumpara dati na, ma'am, nandyan lang yun. Tapos mga ilang araw bago ko maibigay sa kanya yung libro. Pero dahil naka-organize na po yung book.
We talk a lot about information and the information age. But really, what I think people are looking for is wisdom and knowledge.
Napakahalaga ng pagbabasa. Hindi naman tayo pwedeng matuto na hindi ka nagbabasa. Hindi naman pwedeng maging
That is
successful
our
ng isang
city
tao
librarian.
without reading.
That has been true for thousands of years and will continue to be true for thousands more. No matter how weird the future might get. Quezon City Public Libraries, malasakit to the community. Dulong hatid, walang patid.
The song was the jingle, yung aming QCPL jingle, ayun, for promotion. So, and also through the years, the NBDB provided us various books that supported the information needs of our library. It was year 2015 when the NBDB and the Quezon City Public Library under Quezon City government entered into a memorandum of understanding. The partnership augmented QCPL's book collection, and the donated books were for various literacy and reading programs. So, as a conclusion, let me give you this quote from Caitlin Moran, an English journalist, author, and broadcaster. She said that a library in the middle of a community is a cross between an emergency exit, a life raft, and a festival. They are cathedrals of the mind, hospitals of the soul, theme parks of the imagination. Libraries are more than books and technology. Libraries build citizens, educate individuals, and foster thoughtful communities. They are indispensable components of communities, and hopefully, through innumerable services and programs, we're able to validate our worth as one of the valued partners of our community. With that, I end my presentation. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Thank you, Ms. Marisa, for that very comprehensive presentation of what is a public library looks nowadays. So, we were surprised ho ba? Na-surprise ho ba tayo? Na ganun na po pala ang trend ngayon sa mga libraries. By the way, Quezon City Public Library is a public library because baka lang po may confusion dun po sa mga medyo ngayon lang po naririnig about this. We have libraries in school. So, ang mga target clients po nila, of course, are the school children. And public libraries, our target clients are those people within the community. Of course, we cater also to students. But most, ang mga tina-target po natin are those na hindi po nakakapasok sa mga ibang libraries like academic libraries in colleges and universities. So more of the discussions about what libraries can do to improve the lives of the people within the community. Let's hear from Ma'am Ruby Galvez, Dr. Florence Tadiar from Tadiar Library. Tadiar Library is a community type of library po siya. Because, yes ma'am, kayo na pong mag-explain. A round of applause, please.
Naimbag ng malam tayo amin. I said, naimbag na aldaw, malam tayo amin. I don't know if you understand, but this means good afternoon in Ilocano. Okay. I wish to thank the organizers of this 10th Philippine International Literary Festival for the honor you have bestowed upon the Alfredo Tadiar Library at this prestigious and important event by including us in your roster of presentations last December 2017. And so we feel so proud and privileged of its recognition. We appreciate the opportunity given to us to share what we envision it to be and what we've been able to do with unexpected partners so far. So in contrast, this is a private library. It is not a public library. Alfredo Tadiar Library Council, which is the SEC-approved name of our endeavor, is a non-profit, non-stock corporation established solely by our Tadiar family. It is the brainchild of my daughter, Nefertiti Tadiar, as a memorial fitting to her dad, who I'm sure is very happy that his work and dreams for our people and country are being continued and perpetuated through this facility. He so loved reading books from early childhood until his physical departure from this earth at the early age of 85 years. He influenced his children as well as myself, who grew up only in a hospital with medical books and patients. The parents of Alfredo Tadiar were public school teachers, and we sent our children to public schools in La Union and all the way to UP. After our family moved to Manila when he was recruited in 1976 by the then Dean and Irene Cortez of the UP College of Law, after she read his Master's of Law thesis at Harvard Law School, he donated our children's books to their school. However, we did not continue to do so when we learned that the librarian kept the books under lock and key so that the books won't get lost now. The teachers would have to pay for any book lost upon their retirement. So, walang nangyari. So, the Alfredo Tadiar Library is an expansion of the concept of what his and my generation were exposed to during our studying and teaching days. It is located in the very first home we built in San Fernando, where both of us were born, we grew up, fell in love, got married, given birth and reared our 6 children in spite of family planning. Okay. Our children had our house renovated so that it remains as the place we will always remember, and where we lived together and argued and had, of course, reunion, and also after quarreling, di ba, you make up. Okay, Nefertiti graduated from the Philippine Science High School here in Quezon City, and then finished her degree in English at UP, creative writing, I think. And then she earned a doctorate in Durham in Duke University, and is now director of the library and full professor at Barnard College and Columbia University in New York. She is the author of a couple of books in Philippine studies. This is one of them, Things Fall Away, and she's a writer in this book about the Philippines. Here. These are only some of the books. So she had also urged me to put together the papers I had presented in women's health and sexual and reproductive health and rights. My father, of course, they're Ilocanos, and he was a medical doctor, surgeon, but he wrote this Anyati Aramidem in 1940s. What do you do in case of emergency in Ilocano? And besides his autobiography and my mother, The Power of Prayer, these are found in our library. So I am now going to read what Nefertiti wrote, because I am not a scholar and she is, and this is her idea. Okay. Making a library, making communities. Books are said to change lives. They can offer ways of seeing things, people, and life that might alter your own sense of the world you live in, and even your own sense of who you are or who you could be. They can provide windows into the past as well as into the future, deep and intimate views of worlds beyond what we might be able to experience in the routines of our daily lives. They stoke our imaginations of what is possible, and they allow us to relate to others, other people, other beings who might lead very different lives from ours. Libraries have traditionally been spaces for the safekeeping of these wondrous objects. Books are, of course, not just objects, but something more akin to what has become ubiquitous in our world today, a kind of media. That is to say, a book is a medium for the sharing and transmission of thought and experience. Like other forms of interactive media that are so familiar to many people today, a book is not a one-way broadcasting device like a TV, for it demands our participation to make those thoughts and experiences come alive. In the course of history, libraries become spaces not only to store and guard this amazing media, initially to control access to them when their power was first recognized, but as they welcome readers from all walks of life, libraries are also becoming places of social connection and interaction, places where people could encounter each other in and through books and in person in a shared space of curiosity, learning, and enjoyment. When we conceive of the Alfredo Tadiar Library, we envision a place with some of these potentials. We decided, first of all, that it would be free and open to the public, and that it would serve the community where it was located, San Fernando, La Union. Certainly, but also the larger region of northern Philippines and its communities. So we began growing our collection with a focus on this area. So our aims and areas of focus are in the brochures that are available also there outside and being by our librarian is distributing. We also planned on making the library more than a quiet reading space. So we included a small cafe and a bookshop with indoor and outdoor spaces for hanging out and an art and exhibition gallery where visitors and library users could see the work of artists from the region as well as exhibitions related to our collections. What we had not anticipated was how the process of making a library would create and shape what library is and what else it could be, which is a place of making cultures and communities. Building the library's collections has been a continuous process of reaching out to many people, authors, publishers, as well as many others with a similar love and interest, not only in books, but also in cultural works, more generally, like music, film, and art. In this way, people donating books and other materials have come to be an integral part of the project of the library, shaping what the library houses as well as what the library is and what it does. Since we established the library a year and a half ago, it is a place for students to study and review, for professional tour guides to know more about the region, for visitors to see local art, for readers to enjoy immersing themselves in other worlds as well as learning about their own. These are no doubt what the traditional public libraries have been able to offer, but the Tadiar Library has also become more than this because it has organically grown and developed in response to the people who have come into our spaces and be inspired by the potentials we have seeded into it. Today, it has also become a place for artists and cultural presentations, and these artists would pursue their creative endeavors. In October of last year, the Tadiar Library sponsored a 3-day regional film festival, the Pagnawanawan Film Festival, founded and directed by a local cineast, Bebe Go. She is a graduate of UP Film. The successful festival and short film competition brought together aspiring filmmakers and film students from up all the way up to the Visayas and Mindanao. They came to watch these films, and the lasting consequence of which has been the founding of a new film collective and organization, which now they call Pelicula Union. Pelicula Union. Okay. It's composed of filmmakers, cineasts, visual artists, and academics who are based in or trace their affinities from La Union. Early this year, the Tadiar Library and Pelicula Union partnered together to offer a monthly film series entitled Pagsarmingan, which is an Ilocano word for reflection. Yeah. Since March, the Pagsarmingan series has been bringing to the public free screenings of socially relevant, independent, non-commercial films, together with the filmmakers of the screened films, for lively discussions on the issues that films deal with, as well as the ways the films approach and represent these issues. In this way, the library has also become a community center where social issues are discussed, different perspectives are shared, and in partnering with and supporting a local film collective seeking to develop local, regional filmmaking through screenings and educational workshops. The Tadiar Library has thus become a hub for fostering local community and culture and place of collaboration and cooperation. For example, the film that they showed at one time is yung War is a Tender Thing, a film about the war in Mindanao, Marawi. And then there was this filmmaker whose brother was autistic, and she filmed how he dealt with, and the family dealt with autism, and then also her own daughter, who was also autistic. These were very, very touching, and it also sparked a lot of discussion. And we get people all the way from Benguet and Cagayan to come and discuss these films in the library. Our art gallery, for example, hosted an exhibition of the work of a local art collective naman, the Artists Guild of La Union. Then we sponsored an exhibition of photographs by artists and enthusiasts from the region as well as abroad, focused on everyday life in northern Philippines. I actually discovered that one of those who exhibited was 72 years old, a retired woman from Balikbayan, retired from California, and who turned out to be my patient when I was practicing in San Fernando. I delivered now her first child. And so discovering people and their interests, and even her, no, she never submitted, she was never a photographer in her life, but at the age of 72, when she came, she took pictures of the Luna stones, you know, in Luna, La Union, where the stones are. And recently, a writing workshop for local nurses, facilitated by a feminist publishing collective, the Gantala Press, they will be speaking tomorrow, yielded a chapbook of writings by nurses on their life experiences, and they entitled Dagiti Biag, Dagiti Agay Aywan. These are life stories of nurses. Agay Aywan means, you know, taking care. And we have them here at the gallery for purchase. It's only 130 pesos. Okay. And also, it is a community exhibition. Now the art gallery is full of pictures of memorabilia of the nurses. Pictures, their yearbook, their cap, their Florence Nightingale lamp. So it will be there for the next exhibit, but it will last for 2 months. Okay. The publishing and exhibition project is particularly significant in as much as it demonstrates that a library can be more than a place to collect an already produced knowledge and cultural heritages of the past. As shown by this last workshop and exhibition, it can also be a place for ordinary people to generate new knowledge and participate in the creation of culture and community. I learned a lot actually from this. You was even asked to say a prayer in that is to be yung walang Diyos, walang religion. So I have to yung supreme pagan, not pagan naman. Pero you know, it something that unites people no matter what faith or no faith. Okay. And tomorrow, in fact, June 15, they will show 5 films now, which are award winners. And I'm very happy that tomorrow, because we're here, we cannot go there, but it's the celebration of the birthday of Alfredo Tadiar, June 15. Okay. Then on June 29, an author of a children's book offered to come there and tell storytelling, and one of our staff also, she will tell a story in Ilocano and then in Filipino, and this what's her name na? I forgot. And then in August, a dance artist is offering to demonstrate dance as a movement in our small hall. So, as our experiences at the Alfredo F. Tadiar Library shows, a library can be as wondrous as a book, if not even more so. It can be a place where different people can be makers of their own stories, where they can be both the creators and viewers of the filmic as well as the artistic representations of their own lives, and where they can connect to others, making communities and begin to build the social and imaginative worlds they envision. A library can be all these things when people begin to see it is a place for their own dreaming and self-making. So we invite everyone, those who go surfing in San Juan, which is now the famous vacation place, We are open Tuesdays to Saturdays, 12:30 to 6:30 p.m., except holidays. But if you ask us, Ruby, who is our librarian, will open the library for you, okay, for you especially. Okay, so, okay, this is the one written by my daughter, and Ruby now will give us more details about the library. Thank you very much. Just Tagnina. I don't know what you hindi ko alam mo.
Hello, good afternoon. So I'm here to talk about library maker spaces. So as we know, traditional libraries are quiet places for reading and are usually manned by traditional librarians who say, shh. So they are very strict in enforcing silence, these traditional librarians. Fortunately, modern libraries, while still serving as repositories of information, have become vibrant hubs where people read, discuss, and create. As a modern librarian who works in a modern library, I encourage discourse. I push books to my readers that encourage critical thinking. And when debates start, I encourage that too. I believe that a dynamic library is the ideal breeding ground for ideas. Modern libraries invite the community to invent something new, something unique, something that expresses their culture by using the knowledge and feelings they gleaned from the books available in the library. So what are library maker spaces? Library maker spaces are safe places for community members to create and innovate in close proximity to related books. A library collection is rife with literature, poetry, biographies that inspire and provoke thought. Students and 9-to-5 professionals can pursue their hobbies outside regular hours and without the stringent limitations of the academe. Older individuals can contribute their wisdom and use technology to present their thoughts. However, successful makerspace activities take some doing. So how to organize a makerspace activity in the library? By the way, all the things that we mentioned earlier, the filmmaking, the writing workshops, those are all makerspace activities. And there are 3 elements to consider for them, namely the theme, which is what the activity is all about, or the subject matter. Collaboration, this pertains to the logistics of the activity and how it will be done, who is responsible for what. And of course, the resource and venue support. Basically, this is just how the library management supports and contributes to the project. Next. Theme. So regarding theme, the makerspace event must align with the library's vision, mission, and objectives. If a library has an advocacy, which we have, the makerspace events held within its walls must be related to that advocacy. Theme and adherence to it spells the difference between using the library as a makerspace and using it versus using it as a venue, as a mere venue. The makerspace activity may be the spotlight, but the collection that inspired it should be in the halo of that spotlight. A theme links the makerspace event to the library's collection. So next, we have collaboration. Choose a collaborating organization that is dedicated and committed to making the event a success. Communication is key. Because we are a special library, we don't have a parent organization, so we rely on community involvement to further our activities in the library. So, both parties, the library and the collaborator, share in the legwork of inviting the community, setting up, cleaning up, finding sponsors, creating promotional materials, and providing manpower. We also share infographics on social media, both collaborators. Next. For resource and venue support, related books are highlighted to enhance interest and to ensure that there is no disconnect between the makerspace event and the library's collection. The librarian, myself, carefully selects the materials that would stimulate discussion among participants and inspire further innovation. For venue support, the library adjusts its operations to accommodate the makerspace event. Next. So, an example, several examples I will mention. The first one is the first example is the indie film series we organized with Pelikula Union, which is a filmmaker based in a filmmaker club based in our area, as Dr. Tadiar mentioned. The title of the film series is Pagsarmingan. That's the Pagsarmingan series, which means reflection, as mentioned earlier. And one of the films shown is the Babae sa Likod ng Mambabatok, a documentary about traditional Kalinga tattoo artist, Fang Od. They say Wang Od, but it's actually Fang Od. Fang Od in Kalinga. So, next. The library featured a book about the same topic and another book about filmmaking in the Philippines. These are not coincidences. We agreed to show those films because they are related to what the library has in the collection. I also laid out bibliographs. Yes. I also laid out lithographs featuring clothing of Filipino elite during the colonial times. This is to inspire amateur filmmakers who may want to create period dramas. So we have that in our collection, we feature them. We know that the filmmakers and the amateur filmmakers who will attend will be interested in them. So for venue support, we extended our operating hours up to 10 p.m. to accommodate the dynamic discussions about the film. Most of the participants are film enthusiasts and artists themselves. That's why sometimes ang hirap pigilan ng stories, and then of course there's the critique with the directors and the producers of the films. So that's why the discussion can go up to 11 o'clock. So we have to adjust to that because we are a library that supports such dynamic discussions. Next. The second example is the writing workshop, which is Biag Dagiti Agay Aywan, as mentioned earlier. The theme is life stories of Ilocano nurses and caregivers. So it's still within our in our wheelhouse because our library is about Northern Philippines culture. So the collaborating organizations are Gantala Press and also Lorma Hospital and Colleges. Next. So that's our. So as we see, those are two nurses practicing on each other. So it's about learning how to become a nurse. So there we created a makerspace kit for this. We collected excerpts and articles from different materials and put them in one folder to share with our writing workshop participants. And also because it's about nurses and their experiences in other countries, we have the Empire of Care book, which we promoted during the workshop. So there. So venue support is we opened for Monday and Sunday. Our usual hours are Tuesdays to Saturdays. So for this event, we opened during Mondays and Sundays. And thank you for listening. That's all we have. That's the house. The house of Dr. Tadiar that was converted into a library. The one she was describing earlier.
Thank you, Dr. Florence and Ms. Ruby, for sharing with us this. Yes, ma'am. Dr. Florence po and Ms. Ruby. Okay, sige po. Sino po sa inyo ang nakarating na ba sa La Union? Yan. Yes, ma'am. It's very inspiring that we have this kind of community or special libraries, as they call it. No, because though we have public libraries in different cities, municipalities in the whole Philippines, maigi pa rin po talaga na meron pa rin pong katulong si LGU na mga gantong klaseng library para po kasama namin sa pag-advocate po ng love for books and reading. Ma'am, we have a city library sa San Fernando City, La Union. Meron po tayong existing library doon. But I was able to check your brochure. Spacious po yung area nyo yata. Kasi yung library natin sa San Fernando, both the provincial library in La Union and the city library, nasa taas po sila. So I think, ma'am, more than learning about this services and programs of what your library is offering, mas maganda po siguro, no, we'll have some collaborations then. Let's try, ma'am, mag-usap po tayo later. I am from the National Library of the Philippines at marami po tayong parehong ginagawa. So let's see po later, no? Sige po. Medyo limited po yung time. Marami po sana tayong pwedeng i-discuss pa, pero we still have one more speaker and then I'll give my own talk about NLP and the public libraries in the Philippines. So let's have the Reading Club 2000 to be presented by Sir Hernando Guanlao. Sir, please. A round of applause.
Hello po. Medyo pause pa eh. Ito yung balance ng bawat isa sa atin. We'll make balance the existing library, which is structured, and what I conceive as an unstructured library. Show them ang balance. Ikaw ang gagawa ng walang magbabawal sa iyo. Pwede mo na nga iuwi. Nakita ko yung pangangailangan na yung mga showing you my idea, no? Na pwede kahit wala kang pera, mahirap ka, wala kang trabaho, wala kang pagpapaaral sa mga anak mong pamilya mo, pambayad sa Meralco, sa tubig na nagtataasa ng singil, lahat ng pangako nagawa para maedukasyonan, maibahagi ang edukasyon sa ating mga kababayan sa susunod na henerasyon, at yung simpleng idea ng karunungan maipadala sa ibang bansa at hangaan nila at kopyahin, gamitin para umunlad yung kanilang negosyo, katulad ng DHL, ginamit sa commercial, ginamit din ng world remit, currency remittance, para sumikat yung pagpapadala ng pera. Katulad ng libro, nakakarating sa mga kanayunan, ayan, Tabuk, Kalinga, sa mga namumutol ng ulo. Madalas pumupunta sa akin yung kanilang pinuno, getting books for their generation, sa mga children. Sa Suluhulot, sa Tawi-Tawi, hindi ko inaasahan yan nangyari sa mga isla na yan. Sa war-torn area, wala naman nakakatakot talaga din eh. Kasi nakausap ko, nakadaog palad ko lahat yan, na hindi ko inaakalang mangyayari. Kanya sa 50 pirasong kasaysayan ng lumang librong nakita ko sa lalagyan na ginamit namin, ayaw na ng mga kapatid ko, nagsiyaman eh. Dinisplay ko sa harap ng aklatan ng bangketa. Ginamit kong proteksyon ang Republic Act 7743 na walang laman, na pinasa ng ating mga mambabatas. Establishing reading centers in all barangays and communities. 45,000 yan. walang kickback kasi. Kanya, walang nangyari. Sinubok ko ang lagyan ng laman. And nahuli ko yung Pilipinang mga dayuhan. Kasi classic, nagsimula sa Europe. Pocketbook sa Amerika. No? Kailangan itaguyod nila, kinabahan sila sa gadgets, sa mga lumalabas na electronic device. Biro mo, magiging somebody ka. Hindi ka naman nag-aral sa universidad. Gumagawa ka ng e-books. Papayag ba yung mga kumuha ng PhD? Nagagawa ka, ikaw ang sikat na sikat, samantalang kami. Tumanda na kami sa pagsusulat, pag-aaral lang. Dapat na ikwento sa mga estudyante, mag-aaral. Yan yung mga halaga ng printed words. So, yung teknolohiya at saka yung lumang karunungan, pareho mong gagamitin. That is a good weapon. At ito lang huling eleksyon, ginamit ko pareho yan. No? Kanya alam ko nangyari. Yung SD card, electronics eh. Sanay na sanay ako sa lumang pamumulitika. 3Gs. Meron din itong moderno. Kaya, balance. You look always for balance. Para dalawang paa, dalawang mata, dalawang tenga. Functional lahat yan. That was created with the purpose to give us the balance. So, kung kulang ang balance natin sa ngayon, at hinahanap pa natin sa panahon ngayon, beef up our simple balance in spiritual works. Good deeds, yung 200 araw-araw na binibigay kong libro, 200 masayang tao ang nagbabibrate every day. So, that balance my life against materialism na nasa palibot ko sa Makati Central District. Materyoso mga tao sa palibot ng Makati. Alam niyo naman yan. Hindi na dapat questionin. So, in short, 200 books being free given to your neighbors. Makikita niyo yung environment niyo. You will be happy. Hindi mo na kailangan magsalita. May nagsasalita para sa akin. Hindi ko na kailangan i-build up ko pa yung library ko. Alam nyo, wala ako sa dulong ng pagsasalita ng fancy words. No? Hindi ko natutunan yan. Kaya pinapalabas ko na lang yun eh. Kaso yung internet, yan ang mangyayari sa atin. Pwede. Pag ang masyado tayo nag-anchor sa technology, sooner or later, malinaw. Yeah, kung wala na tayong kuryente, ay kung may printable. Sige, tuloy mo lang.
Pwede mo na nga iuwi.
Senyasan mo na lang ako para sila. Yan ang bahay ng magulang ko. Binigyan ko lang ng halaga.
Nakita ko yung
Kesa
pangangailangan na yung mga sobra, i-recycle. Naisip ko yung libro. Nilabas ko at pinilit ko madagdagan yung 50. Kabaliktaran, imbis na nawala, dumami. Unti-unting dumami at pumasok nga dito hanggang dito sa loob ng tahanan.
Pwede po amin na lang Salamat po.
Kuminsan yung mga bata, Ang nanay walang pambili ng magazine, 20 pesos yan eh. Yung lumang magazine sa palengke. So dito takbuhan. Libre. So kung 3 magazine, malaking bagay na sa kanilang pangkain niya. Eh dito, thank you. Salamat po mga nanay. Sa dami-dami ng nililimbag na libro, tunit-tunilada, hindi tayo maghihirap. No? Ang kailangan lang ay konting tiyaga, ikalat yung libro na yan sa mga liblib kanayunan.
Inopya ko yung kay book for Dr. Porto Barrios, sa akin naman libro. Wala namang masama.
66 na ako eh. Nag-request pa ako ng 10 taon. Baka mo pipigilan, yun nga yung pangarap mo eh, magkaroon ng momentum. Kahit na maglabas ako ng maglabas ng libro, 10 bumabalik eh. Ba't hindi ako maglalabas na maglalabas?
Hanggang magkaroon ako ng kumpiyansa na nagdala ko ng libro, isang sako. Alam ko dapat dito. So, hindi mo kailangan may pera ka sa bulsa. Nung may pera ako, wala nangyari. Wala nangyari, puro malabo yata ito. Hindi yata ganito yung God is good. Na? We are all equal in the eyes of God. So, subukan ko nga yung simpleng golden rule. Ginamit kong instrumento, medium yung book, mga luma. Mga tinatapon, nandun pala ang wisdom, sikreto. Walang negosyanteng mag-i-interest ng basura. So, hanggang ngayon, tuloy-tuloy. 19 years. Books keeps on coming to my door. Hindi ako tumatanggap ng pera. Hindi ako nagsusulisit sa mga kaibigan kong mayayaman. No? Dahil alam ko, hindi sila sanay mamigay ng pera. No? Accountant po ako, 1 taong ko lang ginamit. Kasi walang gustong magbayad ng tamang buwis sa ating pamahalaan. Magiging instrumento ko sa gawan mo ng paraan. Mamadmatay ka kagad ng walang nangyari sa iyong buhay dito. In short, naghanap ako. Yun nga, hanggang ngayon, naikalat ko na siguro more than 5 million books. Tapos ginastusan na ako ng media. Hanggang ngayon, no? Ngayon ang nakahilera sa akin online para gamitin. Mga online digital marketers. Kasi online technology na eh. Nagsawa na yung BBC, ABS, Canadian Times. Saka naging bisita ko lagi mga Boston Librarian. Nagtataka ako, bakit ako? Meron namang mga katulad nila, di ba? Something different. Kung magagawa niyo pala na madala niyo yung idea sa ibang bansa, sisika tayo na bilang isang matantag na bansa. Hahangaan tayo. Tatalunin natin yung mga progresibong bansa. Dalhin niyo yung idea niyo sa ibang bansa. Yun lang ang simpleng example. So, nadala ko. Hanggang ngayon, tumutuloy-tuloy pa.
Maraming salamat po, sir. Parang hindi po ako makahanap ng exact words. Librarian po kasi ako. Sorry Sana po marami pang kagaya niya. Na-touch po ako dun sa sinabi niya na pumupunta sa kanya yung mga taga-tabuk kasi I am a public librarian and oh my God. As a public librarian po kasi, it's part of our work at NLP to visit barangay reading centers throughout the Philippines. And I've been in Basilan. Nagpunta po ako ng Basilan and Lamitan. So, witness ako dun, sir, kaya medyo nakuha nyo ako dun. So, yes. So, nung sinabi nyo po kasi yun, parang nag-flashback lahat yon. Imagine, ang Basilan po ang hirap puntahan at ang Lamitan. So, nakita ko talaga doon yung hirap. But you know what? Yung provincial librarian po ng Basilan, naging outstanding librarian po siya ng PRC. Dahil po sa effort niya na ginagawa to, educate kids doon po sa kanila. Kahit nagigerahan po doon, talagang pinilit niya pa rin po na tumayo ang library as maging space, magiging partner po ng schools para ma-educate po yung kids doon. So, pasensya na kayo, naging emotional ako masyado kasi being a librarian for 20 years, I am a witness of how deprived po talaga yung mga kids to information resources, and aaminin po namin na sa sector namin, hindi ho namin talagang kaya. Sir, tama po kayo, walang ngipin yung RA 7743, and National Library of the Philippines is the implementer of this act. We are doing our best, pero talaga pong mahirap kasi ang partner po natin dito ay LGU. So being a national agency, parang hirap po talaga kami na mag-cascade, but mamaya po sa presentation ko, medyo makikita nyo po yung statistics, no? Ako na palang magpe-present. Sige ho. Nandito. Igay. Ma'am, ilang minutes ang nakaalat sa akin? Quick lang po to. Ilang slides lang po yan. But anyway, let me introduce my agency. Sino po ba dito ang pumupunta sa library? Ayan, good number po. Salamat. At hindi po ako mahihirapang kumonek. Kasi po, tuwing nagtutalk po ako or kami, mga kapwa ko librarians, parang hirap na hirap po kaming introduce ang library. Hirap na hirap po namin sabihin na we are a profession, na partner po ng mga teachers, partner nyo po kami sa pag-educate ng mga gustong matuto. So, yan. This is ako na po mag-click, sir. Saan? So, my agency is under the Office of the President. We are an affiliated cultural agency of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. But, although affiliated cultural agency po kami, we have our own budget. Our director or the head of the agency just sit as one of the board of commissioners po sa NCCA. So yun po yung connection namin sa National Commission for Culture and the Arts. This is our mandate, and through our public library system, kasi being a national library, kami po ay mandated na mag-establish ng public libraries in the Philippines. Yun po yung RA 7743 na binabanggit ni Sir kanina. Barangay reading centers, municipal, city, provincial libraries, and even congressional libraries. That's why we provide access to library resources through a system of public libraries throughout the country. So in short, we perform a dual function as a national and as a public library. I'll go directly to the services and programs po ng NLP. So we have, of course, reading promotions. Nandito si Miss Bebang kanina. Ang hirap sundan, ma'am, ng session nyo. Lahat kayo mga authors. So, i-connect ko lang. So, sila, they do have a lot of means to promote their books po. Kami, nagpo-promote kami ng reading din, okay? So, we do conduct storytelling, read aloud, puppet show. Ayan po si Melay, na sikat, ma'am. Kilala nyo siguro siya. Kilala niya kayo. Kapartner niyo po yan sa mga sessions na ina-attendan niyo minsan. Ito po yung ginagawa namin sa National Library. And alam po namin na yung mga services namin, storytelling, puppet show, read aloud, arts and craft, and others, through our children's section ay
hindi naman po namin nakikater lahat kasi kahit po kami ay nasa Kalaw lang, likod lang po kami ng Luneta, hirap na hirap po naming akuin or invite po yung ating target clients who can be school children or the kids roaming around Luneta na pumunta po kayo dito sa National Library. So what we do is we initiated or we developed a program para mas madala po namin yung aming serbisyo dahil ang oportunidad ay nandyan na. Likod po kami ng Luneta. So we partnered with NPDC, nilaunch po namin itong book cart project at ito po ay nagro-roam around Luneta. Ayan po. Pumupunta po kami doon, yung book cart tinutulak po doon at umiikot sila yung mga staff para mag-conduct ng mga sessions. And then we allow the kids to read. Yun nga lang po sir, I salute you kasi yung sinabi niya kanina na free yung books. Ang NLP po kasi, dahil po gobyerno tayo, no? Hindi ho kayang bayaran ni librarian yan kung lahat po ng kids na magbasa dyan ay iuuwi. So, yun po talaga yung difference namin. So, we allow kids to read the books, tas may sessions din pong ginagawa. So, yan po yung mga initiatives, konting mga initiatives ni NLP na ginagawa. But we are very proud that yung mga kids po, inaabayangan na po nila yan. Pag may book cart si NLP, nagpupunta na po sila doon sa pinakapwesto and then they immediately, pagdating po namin, kinukuha na po agad nila yung books. So yung interest nila sa books and reading, medyo na-develop na po. At dahil nakita ho namin yung kakulangan din ng hygiene po sa mga bata, most of them ay, alam nyo po minsan, hindi minsan, kalimitan, hindi sila ligo. So what we do is, while we conduct storytelling sessions, tinuturo na din po namin sa kanila yung proper hygiene. Pag-toothbrush, yung sinasabi kanina ni Miss Marisa, even yung pagligo. And then, para mas maging effective kami, we partner with CIP. Meron silang binibigay sa amin ng mga hygiene kit. We give them. Okay? So, yan po yung mga ginagawa ni NLP. Ayan po. Nakakatuwa pong tignan yung mga bata na kahit yung iba hindi pa nila alam magbasa, yung paghawak lang mismo lang nila ng libro, okay na din po yun para ma-introduce sa kanila yung ganyang love for books. And then, we also participate sa mga celebrations in promoting love for reading. Ayan po yung World Read Aloud Day. It's a UK-based po yung Litword na isang NGO na nag-initiate po nito. So what we did is we connect with them, tapos nabigyan din po kami ng parang sort of, portion doon sa kanilang website para ma-promote natin na si Pilipinas gumagawa po nito. Para mas okay po siya at mas marami pa po siyang ma-reach since ang mga public libraries sa Pilipinas ay under po ni NLP, affiliated ni NLP. We conduct it by cluster. So, ginagawa po namin pag World Read Aloud Day, nagpa-partner po kami from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao ng mga public libraries and simultaneous po yung reading na ginagawa. So, those are the promotions po na ginagawa namin para mas maengganyo po yung mga batang magbasa. Apart from that, we also participate in this World Puppetry Day celebration. Ayan. So, yun po yung services namin for the kids. We go to inclusive services na ini-introduce po ni NLP. Since National Library po tayo, ganun din po yung Quezon City Public Library. Parang sa amin ay hindi lang tayo nakafocus sa isang sektor. Library is now a place for everything. Kagaya po kanina ng presentation ni Miss Marisa, parang lahat na lang ino-offer. Kasi yun po yung trend ngayon ng libraries. Hindi na lang kami merely a structure na may shelves, na may stack of books, at maghihintay kung sino yung client na magpupunta sa amin para manghiram ng libro. So, sana po natanggal po natin na yon sa isipan natin. Iba na po ngayon ang role ni library. Library is a place for everything, for reading, entertainment, kung ano man yung gusto nyong gawin doon. Kasi marami na po kaming pwedeng i-offer. So, since we also advocate inclusive services, we provide alternate resources for our persons with brain disabilities. Ayan po, nagpo-produce po kami ng alternate resources. Pwede po siyang i-request sa NLP, ma-produce namin into braille and audiobook. At pwede din po yung mga collections namin ay i-reproduce namin para mas mabasa po ng ating mga print disabled na mga kababayan. Ayan. So, another program po ni NLP yan. And since we do collection development for PWD, specifically those with visual impairment, nagko-collect po din tayo ng mga collections for distribution. Yes, ma'am. For our affiliated or even school, community libraries, and other libraries na pwede po nating bigyan. Ayan. So, sir, parang nahiya ako kanina bigla. Maraming nabanggit si sir. And yet, si NLP, hindi pa... Ate Maris, dapat i-take note natin yon, no? So, we provide allocation of books and other reading materials po sa mga libraries na pwede ho naming bigyan. Medyo may mga requirements lang, but titignan po natin, baka naman pwede nating slash yung iba, ma'am, no? Ganun ho talaga kasi pag gobyerno, no? Medyo mahirap, pero pilitin ho natin. Okay? So, ilang minutes pa ako, sir? Bilis na lang to. Ayan. So, ito mga programs na to, yung Philippine eLive, this is to support yung mga research needs ng ibang clients natin. Kasi NLP, puntahan din po tayo ng mga graduate students, mga nagre-research. So, ito po yung ibang mga services na ino-offer ni NLP. Ayan. So, may interagency collaborative programs kami. Yung iba dito, kung nakapunta na po kayo sa NLP, you might be aware of this Philippine eLive. This is a partnership. It is a project actually funded by the government way back in 2010. Kung tama yung aking memory, no, with the UP Diliman, the DA, CHED, and DOST. Ayan. Itong Tech for Ed, program po ito ni DOST at binigyan niya ng access po yung ating public libraries through the National Library of the Philippines. Ito yung sinasabi kanina ni Ms. Marisa ng mga e-gov services. So, dyan po pumapasok siya sa Tech for Ed. And we are very lucky kasi nag-commit po si DICT na bibigyan po ng access over 1,000 public libraries in the whole Philippines. So, maganda po yan para mas magkaroon po ng access yung ating mga client. Kasi yung platform po na yan, it's not only e-gov services but about skills and others na pwedeng i-offer. Meron silang training module in partnership with DepEd and marami po siyang laman. Okay. So, quick lang. I-connect ko lang kasi kanina binabanggit yung mga public libraries din. So, this is statistics shows the recipients of this Tech for Ed. But more than dito sa row na to, gusto kong ipakita sa inyo kung gaano po kakonte, kadami ang ating public libraries dito sa Philippines. Per RA 7743, yes, we are mandated to establish public libraries. But as you can see, ang dami po talaga nating habulin. Sir, yung statistics mo kanina, 40 plus, no? Yes, as of 2018, we have 42,029 barangays. And yet, we only have 652 barangay reading centers. So imagine po talaga yung hahabulin natin. Kaya yung mga ganitong libraries po natin, community libraries, special libraries, kailangan po ni National Library. Kasi mag-isa lang po si NLP, medyo mahirap po siya dahil we have to talk every now and then, every 3 years, nag-change po yung LGU administrators. So medyo mahirap siya but hopefully, ma-meet po natin yung target natin na yan. We provide capacity building programs, trainings, workshops, seminars, and conferences. Some of these are the training workshop on the development of children's book in mother tongue. Ginagawa natin, ma'am, yan. This is to augment the scarce resources of children's books in mother tongue. So, meron po tayong program na ganyan. Ginagawa natin yan mismo sa library. Binibigay po natin siya ng free. Bakit po sa library? Para hindi na ho tayo magbayad ng venue. So, yun po yung strategy na ginagawa ni National Library. It's also our way to introduce the library to the community. Kasi kung binibigyan po natin ng espasyo yung library para mag-conduct ng gantong event na po-promote din po siya. Again, disability awareness training, aside from the services that we offer, sorry, time is up na. Sige po, konti na lang. Ito, very quick lang po. Another program po ni NLP, we conduct workshop on appropriate paper-based technology, making a staff out of scratch. So, meron din po tayong ganyang ginagawa. Ayan. So, yung kanina, sinabi ni Miss Marisa na awardee sila, yes, tama po yun. What we do is, para mas ma-entice yung ating mga public librarians to develop their own programs, have some innovations in their services and programs, we provide some awards, both for the library and the librarian. At nilaunch po yung outstanding search for public librarian this year lang, but the outstanding search for public libraries is running for at least a decade na ngayon. Okay. Kaya po naging awardee sila. And we are very proud na one of the city library dito sa Mindanao ay naging awardee na po siya ng international award last year. Yan. Ayan. So, ito pong ginagawa namin ay in line dito sa Ambition 2040 ni NEDA at hindi po namin to kayang gawin without our partners and NBDB is one. Thank you, NBDB. So, meron pong, ang library sector po ay may inaangklahan globally. We are a member of the International Federation of Library Associations, o IFLAS. Sila po yung nagre-represent ng aming sector sa high-level meeting ng UNESCO and even UN. Ayan po. At dahil dyan, meron po silang mga strategies na nilatag sa libraries for us to be able to contribute how to meet the UN SDGs. So, ayun po. This is my conclusion. Libraries increase opportunities to learn and improves lives. So, makita nyo po, no, ganun po pala yung ginagawa naming mga librarians. Kaya po tuwing nagtutalk ako, sinasabi ko po, kung hindi man, i-encourage nyo po yung mga pinsan nyo, kapatid nyo, pamangkin nyo, and whoever man, kumuha po kayo ng library science. Kasi po, bibihira po kami. Kukunti po kami, hindi namin kaya yung mga dapat namin pwedeng gawin. And the good news is, DOST and the CHED recognize the need for librarians, kaya meron po silang mga scholarship. Sana po, tulungan nyo po kaming magsabi sa mga kakilala nyo para makumuha po sila ng library science. Malit lang naman po ang sweldo, pero okay na rin po. Starting po sa government, nasa 22, and sa government po, nag-i-start 30,000 up. Lalo na po sa mga exclusive school. Nag-promote na ako, ma'am, no? Sa inyo opportunity. O, sige. Okay, so, if may question, do we have time? One question lang. Yes, sir.
Sa amin po, hindi naman po kami miyembro ng mga sa Marawi. Kaso, ako po ay taga Quezon. Ako po ay nagtuturo sa public high school. Ito lang po siguro sa Quezon, hindi rin kami naabot ng mga national library. Hindi ko rin naman kayang papunta yung mga estudyante ko sa national library sapagkat wala rin naman silang mga pera. Ang inaano ko lang po ay, paano kaya matutulungan kami, halimbawa sa Quezon, na mabigyan ng mga libro? Kasi yun din ang gusto kong mangyari sa amin, na mag-put up kami ng sariling libro. Siguro tatanungin nyo, ayun ang ginagawa ng mga schools. Mayroon po kami mga libro sa schools, kaso lamang, hindi man binabasa sapagkat mga textbook. So wala nang ibang opportunity mga bata magbasa ng libro. Last year, nagkaroon po kami, sa subject ko na humanities, ay may tinatawag na community engagement. And one of the projects ng mga bata ay nag-create sila ng mini library. As in mini talaga. So nakakuha po kami ng mga siguro mga 50 pambatang libro. And someone na nagsabi sa akin na magdo-donate na sa States. Kaso, akong pinagbabayad ng shipping, which is 1,000. Sabi ko, wala nga kaming pera. Paano pa kami mga ano? So, ang gusto ko lang po, ma'am, ay paano nyo, siguro, kahit siguro po kung sino man, paano nyo po mabibigyan, halimbawa yung mga naandun sa amin, ng access, o kaya naman mabigyan kami ng libro, para makapag-put up din kami ng sariling aming, mini library or public library na Kasi wala talaga po kaming access. Ilan lang sa kanila ang mayroong kakayanan na makabili ng libro. So kaya nga ma'am yung kay ma'am, Bebang kanina, interesado talaga ako doon kasi nga yun ang wala sa amin. So siguro sa lahat ng nababanggit nyo, naliligdan yung Quezon. Wala na Mindanao. Pero kami rin nangangailangan din kami ng libro at yung mga bata sa amin. Yun lang po.
Okay, salamat po sir sa tanong. Meron po tayong Quezon Provincial Library. Sa katunayan po, kakadeliver lang po last week ng National Library sa Quezon ng mga allocation nila ng books. So mamaya sir, mag-usap tayo. Iko-connect ko po kayo doon kasi through them, you can probably have your initial allocation. Tignan ho natin kung paano. So, yun po yung lagi kong sinasabi, no? Walang commitment, but we can work on it through partners at kung sino yung pwede nating konektahan. Kasi meron po tayong Quezon Provincial Library na affiliated ni National Library. At sila po nakakakuha po sa amin. Lucena. Yan, sige po. Pero pwede po tayong kumonek doon. Pwede din pong direct po sa National Library. Sir, mag-usap tayo. Promise po. Okay. So, sorry, we ran out of time, but thank you very much, NBDB, for giving opportunities to our sector to be recognized. And sa lahat po ng aking co-panelists, salamat po for sharing, sir. Dapat mapuntahan ka ni NLP.
Schools in La Union na nag-o-offer ng library science, nag-close because there were no enrollees. So, I don't know what is the problem. There are people who don't want to, so yun ang isang problem. How can you induce students to take up library science and to come to the provinces?
That's another session.
Okay.
But thank you, ma'am, for raising
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our speakers, Dr. Florence M. Tadiar, Ms. Dolores D. Carungui, Ms. Marisa G. Chico, Ms. Ruby Galvez, and Reading Club 2000. The next session is The Value of a Story, Reading and Storytelling Advocacies for Communities. Community organizers share the importance of and challenges in developing general readership through reading, centers and storytelling in different communities. The Value of a Story, Reading and Storytelling Advocacies for Communities session will start in around 10 minutes.